From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of myBurbank Talks, presented by the staff of myBurbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hello, Burbank. Craig Sherwood here with you once again, along with our co-host, Ross Benson.
Hi there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
And let's not forget our other co-host, but on a remote location, Craig Durling.
Good evening, everybody. Good to be back.
He's got some airplane ready to dump floss check on his head.
Well, I think after last week's picture, and he asked for, and we had a little contest of where that was. And
well, let me bring last week's picture up because we have a winner. We have somebody that guessed it correctly.
We do.
Right?
Yes, we have a winner.
This one. Get out of the way.
There we go. And Craig, why don't you tell us about that picture that you shot?
This was on. Well, I'll bury the lead here, but I was assigned by the LA County Fire Department to fly out to Catalina with them for a brush fire drill, a large scale brush fire drill some years ago. And at the end of that drill, all of the Station 55 apparatus that is stationed on Catalina Island, Santa Catalina Island. We got them all up to the airport because that's where the command post was for the drill. And I set them out and took a portrait of the apparatus. So that is all the LA County Fire apparatus stationed on Catalina Island, Station 55, and took a portrait of the crews that were there in front of the apparatus. And then this one that's displayed here of just the apparatus. So that is the airport in the sky, as it's known.
You said you flew out. Did you parachute in?
No, they actually landed on the ground.
Oh,
at the airport. Actually, the trip there, we landed at a field on the other end of the island. That was LA Sheriff's Air 5 that took myself and the crew I was embedded with. We landed in a field out on the north side of the island, and then we took one of the Firehawks back from the airport here after I shot these pictures.
Yeah, it must be nice flying in Air 5.
Your tax money at work.
Yeah, good flying in Air 5.
John Salazar Jr. guessed it right.
Yes, he did.
It's Catalina Island. He even got the nickname of the airport in the sky. But nobody went for the bonus answer of the station number, which is actually, if you look hard, it is on the apparatus.
Yes, it is.
It's 55, Station 55.
Well, he says he's flown into there before, in fact, and had a lot of fun. So thanks.
Looks
John
like
Salazar
a scary
Jr.
airport to fly into.
Yeah, thanks, John Salazar Jr. for listening to the show. And
absolutely.
And in fact, he should have his gift card by now. I did send it out last week.
Great. And kudos to him for listening on an unannounced live, unless he heard the recorded version later. But you see, this came in kind of quick, didn't it?
Well, yeah, but I also did get the show put out on Monday night or Tuesday night, right after we got done with it too. So
okay,
we had wait, my tooth. Okay, ouch.
Doing that a lot, Ross.
I tell you, you know what? We got a lot of winners.
Well, yeah, Andrew Biser won our newsletter contest this week also.
Now, how do you, when we say newsletter, there's myBurbank. When you refresh your page, a little green box comes up, and that is our newsletter that comes out usually every Monday, done by our own Ashley Erickson, of stories that we have had on myburbank.com the previous week.
Basically, so we can review.
A week in review. So if you don't have time to look at myBurbank 24 hours a day like some people do, you can get a refresh on that Monday and know what's going on. And that's where Andrew...
You saw his name and sent it in. And he should have his gift card by now also. I think
those gift cards.
Gift cards are just flying out the door. But we missed one this week. We have a gift card that didn't go out this week because
nobody sent in last week's word of the week on our show. I can't believe that. Everybody probably thinks, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win. So I won't send it in.
Why bother sending it in? Well, guess what? You would have been the only one to win to get it this week.
Now, I'm curious we did ask one of our previous winners to send us a picture.
Well, we didn't ask her. She actually just sent it in.
Oh,
great. Saying thank you. Samantha Wick.
Well, if you recognize that name, she is one of our police commissioners. I'm sorry, she's one of our planning board commissioners.
Yes, she actually does something.
Well, she does. I saw her Saturday night at the Boys and Girls, which we'll talk about later, gala, and she met Ashley. She is also one that is wearing some of our swag.
Oh, that's great.
She really supports myBurbank. She told me personally, my rant of the week.
Oh.
So there's another one that goes on my nice
She sent
list.
a picture of her.
And Samantha is not directly affiliated with myBurbank, so she's eligible to win, and she's a big fan of the show.
She sent a picture of her breakfast she had at Hill Street Cafe, and take a look at it right now. This is for you. If you're watching live, watch again later.
Just imagine a nice
You have to go to Hill Street Cafe and order this.
Nice
This looks like a nice fruit cup, and what I'm guessing is the lots of mushrooms omelet, which is exactly what I would order.
With a little cheddar cheese, too.
Oh, so I need something to stick it together, right?
That's right. Yeah, well.
It's a binding agent.
Yes. So thank you to all of our winners. And once again, we'll have a word of the week later in our show. And if you like that Hill Street Cafe gift card for $25, please email in the word, and we'll be glad to, every week it's hard to figure out which name to pick, and I have the computer do it. And this week, the computer felt sad.
So I have a rules question for you, Mr. Sherwood.
Yes.
Does this week's gift card roll over does last week's roll over into this week and you get two?
No, not at all. What happens is I get to use it.
Oh. Well, I know you have your eyes on that mushroom omelet.
Yeah, I do. It looks very good. Well, let's get on to the show here. So last week, the city announced that they are looking for more. Well, not more. But this time of year they're replenishing their boards and commissioners, and most terms are all going to be 4-year terms. I think there's one term that's an unexpired term that's only going to be for 2 years. But to give you an idea, they're looking for 2 members for arts and public places, 2 members for the Board of Building and Fire Code Appeals. Now, that's going to be an exciting board to be on. They're looking for 3 people for the Board of Library Trustees. And with all the things the library is planning on this year and the next couple of years and a new library, that's probably a very exciting thing to be involved with. Looking for 4 people for the Burbank Water and Power Board. A board that technically you better know your stuff, because you know what? It's above my head. I don't mind saying that. It's extremely complicated when it comes to the rates and everything else.
It's very, very technical, very numbers oriented.
Yes.
And these are current vacancies, right?
Well, these are vacancies that they're going to fill in July. Every year they go through and do this. Every 2 years, I should say. Civil Service Board looking for 2 people. The Community Development Goals Committee looking for 5 people. The Heritage Commission looking for 2. The Landlord-Tenant Commission is looking for 2. Now, one thing I don't know, I feel bad for that commission. A commission with no power. A Senior Citizen Board, they're looking for 4-year people and 1 person for an unexpired term that's going to end in 2 years. So that's
if you want a voice in your city, folks.
Yeah, you want to get involved. This is how you do it, And
now let me say that
real fast. You go to the city clerk's website on the City Break website. Go to the city clerk's page, and you can fill the application out right there on your computer, or you can always mail in to her snail mail if you want to. But I'm sure she would prefer electronic mail. But there's still, and then the city council will go over every application, and they will pick the people they think is best for each commission.
Now, what I was going to say, you can go to myBurbank, and we have an article about it, which will take you to that city clerk's page. But there are some requirements, and I'm looking. I didn't think some of these required the Form 700. That shows if you have any financial interest in anything that board will make a decision on, or an AB 1234 requirement. And I don't know, I think that's to just test if you can count to 4.
Oh.
I'm not sure which one that is, but I know if you have questions, you could always call our city clerk, Kim, and everybody in her office could help you out. There are deadlines, real important. There are things that last week, you might want to be on a board or commission, but if you travel with your family, it was shown a couple weeks ago, one of our commissioners on, I believe, Arts and Public Places, had told them that she was going on a wedding vacation in Australia, you're only allowed to miss the city charter and the city code. You're only allowed to miss specific and certain meetings.
3.
And if you don't have, and in that case, in her case, they had put in a meeting
They did a special meeting
in the middle.
Right. That made the 3rd meeting. She would not have missed 3 in a row if they.
Correct.
I just did the monthly meeting.
I happen to know Patty quite well, and she loves that committee, and they went to bat for her. They've kept her on it, but there are some. Just don't think you're putting in your name because you have an education and a diploma from some Harvard Law School and think you can get on these boards and commissions. The council do read them. So does the public. Once you fill this out, this is public information. Everything, your application can be seen by everybody in the public. So if you're one not to want to know, they don't disclose your address. They don't disclose your phone. They don't tell you what sex you are. Oh, they might now, but
Well,
you can't.
non-binary.
It's all public information. So, but you know what? To serve our city, a lot of people that have been board and commissioners have run for city council.
I'm thinking about down the line trying to get on a board and commission myself. I haven't decided yet, but down the line,
Well,
You need to be on the police commission, and Ross
Oh.
needs to be on the landlord-tenant commission.
well, let's tell the truth,
they,
Greg.
they would not like me on the police commission. They would not like me out because I would actually.
They don't like you now.
No, that's true. That's very true.
Well, let's pull the covers back. You ran for city council many years ago, and you
many years ago.
you had less weight and a lot more hair,
Which
but you got many votes.
I got that was about 45 years ago. You
Was it really?
Oh, that was back in the I think it was 1978.
Was Mike Graceffel born then?
He's older than I am.
I know he is.
The what was funny about that, you know what my initial platform was? That we need a movie theater in Burbank. Because at the time there were no theaters in Burbank. Pickwick had closed down and no AMCs yet. We had all these studios, and I said, how can we have all these studios in this city and nowhere to see a movie?
Well, that's really funny because this weekend I was at the Boys and Girls Club gala, and the man that brought walk-in movie theaters back to Burbank, Mr. Vic Giorgino, he's brought in the first AMC, and it still is AMC on the West Coast. Burbank is their number one.
On this side of the Mississippi, the Burbank AMCs are the number one theaters. But there are,
Because there are more AMC theaters in the city than any other.
I think
That's
we
why.
have 16, 22, close to 30.
Wow.
8, a 6, and a 16.
Yeah, so we have
And just think at one time we had
0.
Now all we want is a good 24-hour restaurant.
Boy,
Oh.
now you're pushing things.
We need you to run, Mr. Sherwood.
Well, you know what?
Wow.
Good idea, though. If I had the money, I'd buy a restaurant.
Good platform.
The myBurbank Cafe.
Okay, so that's with boards and commissions. Last week was a pretty slow week, actually. No council meeting last week. No, not a lot of things. Now on the weekend, we had the car show at Mirror. I didn't have a chance. Ross, did you know anything about the car show?
I talked to Stacy, who from Logix, who is one of the big sponsors of the event. Great turnout. Road Kings I think they had over 30 cars there. Good old Don Baldessaroni had his 1956 something there that got out, and I was told very good turnout. This year, they changed locations. Last year was up at Stow, and it was just around the park. This was at Muir. You could pull in. There were food vendors. They had baskets that you could raffle on. So quite successful event. I'm glad to hear that.
Right. And then on Saturday night, we had the
same day, yeah.
Same day, the Boys and Girls Club Gala at Lakeside Golf Course. And I think you stopped by there, didn't you?
I did. That was actually, I was out there.
I hope you brought a jacket with you.
Well, I shoot with my shooting vest, and I kind of knew, but I'll tell you, as soon as I got there, I walked by one of those heaters, and I said to myself, I think I know where I'm staying tonight. It blows off the hill from Universal.
Oh, yes.
Across that green.
Down the Barham Pass there.
And it got mighty cold, but they had over 400 people, raised a ton of money for Boys and Girls Club.
I don't know whether they'll go inside, though.
No.
Wouldn't it be?
It's all outside.
I say, why don't they go inside? Because isn't this time of year usually known to be not that warm at night?
Because they can't put that many people inside. It only sits so many. I've been to pretty big events.
There, but how about somewhere else that has an inside?
But they had a great turnout. Tons of stuff that they were auctioning and so forth. So you run into the who's who of Burbank. All the politicians are there and everybody else. And it was a really, really good.
A good time was had by all.
And I'll tell you, the place was so full. I got there early. I'm glad I did. I parked pretty close up front because I still can't walk that far. When I left, I came down Rose out the exit. People were walking to their car all the way down to McFarland to get inside. Yeah, when you have to park that far away. The parking lot was full. Smokehouse was full that night, so park in the neighborhood, and I'll tell you, wow.
Wow. Too bad the Shamrock couldn't open their parking area up for people. The Shamrock building.
Oh, yeah. That maybe next year they can make that deal.
Maybe.
Shamrock or the old Warner Brothers building that has parking down below.
Hey, that's the one next to the golf course, right?
Oh, they have to drive through the weeds first.
Yes.
Wait, I thought I saw they just cut those just the other day. Maybe.
I haven't been down that street in a bit, so I haven't had a fresh look.
Well, that's kind of it for last week. It was kind of not a slow week. Just sometimes you have weeks that just not a lot goes on. So let's pause. We'll have ourselves a quick little commercial, and we will come back with the week that will be.
Enjoying the show right now? Thinking you may want to do your own podcast? myBurbank Talks is renting out our podcast studio on an hourly rate. You can do audio podcasts or both audio and video, and even bring in guests to talk with. We will help you get set up on podcast platforms and start a YouTube channel, and we can edit your productions to make you look and sound your very best. If you are interested, please drop us an email at studiorentals@myburbank.com. That's studiorentals@myburbank.com, and we will get back to you. Now, back to our show.
All right, Burbank, we are back. Craig Sherwood here, of course, with Ross Benson.
Well, I'm not sure. I just got a text from the president, not of the United States.
He's probably in bed already.
Yeah, you're right. We might not be live on Twitter and YouTube, but the show will be edited and up in a couple of days, so we're not sure where the technical problem is.
Well, if we're not live, then they won't know that we're not live.
You're right.
No reason to tell them.
But we are recording, and that's what everybody will hear.
Yes, they will.
There you go.
And we always get it. Oh, by the way, we got Craig Durling and Zoom.
Still here. And live. I'm live here, not on YouTube or Twitter.
So, once again, we will get into the week that will be. There's a lot going on this week.
Big week.
Big week.
Today's what?
Today's Monday, May 6th.
Okay, just checking.
And just so people know, we try to get the audio version up always on Monday, and shoot to get the video up usually on Tuesdays. So it's takes a little time to edit everything, but we get it as fast as we can. So tonight, this is I forgot, the Arts and Public Places meeting had been canceled because, of course, the city decided to schedule 2 meetings at once, like they always seem to want to do on Monday nights.
So that's why the door is still locked. I've been sitting outside.
Come on, tell the truth. They wanted the people be able to listen to the podcast.
There you go.
And that's why.
Well, the Landlord-Tenant Commission did meet at 6:15 tonight, and they had there's a tenant form from 3016 Riverside Drive. So there was an issue there, and 2 of the commissioners, I guess they look into it, and they can't. Once our city gets put together what they want to get to put together with this new ordinance, I think there's going to be a lot more help for people, a lot more guidance for people.
Right. And like you're saying, You make it sound like, they go there and you can plead your case and it's useless. That is true because I've been there. But I will say on something like this, they can't refer them, they can't make recommendations, but they can give them direction.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're having a problem in a building and your hands are tied, you feel, Burbank is its own city. You can't go to LA. You can't go here, there. You can meet. And this is what, these two commissioners were addressed to maybe tell these people that where to go.
And if they raise
if
they raise your rent by more than 6% that the state allows, the problem is they can't do anything to enforce it. They can just tell you where to go to maybe get it enforced, but they can't help you get it enforced. They don't have the authority to do anything.
Right, but a couple weeks ago at council, I heard our city attorney specifically state at one of these that somebody got evicted, that they gave them direction and help, and that was more than they got from anywhere else. So the city's trying. I mean,
we have our 3-month rent, no fault eviction thing in right now, and that's going to become a permanent thing.
So hopefully they got these people that
they're working on it.
3016 got help.
I don't think you'll ever see rent control per se in Burbank, but because we have that state law now of 6%, but you will see stuff in place so people just can't get thrown out on 2 weeks' notice, which has been an issue.
Well, I think the worst part is, as we've all seen, is people getting thrown out of where they've been living for a while for really no cause other than greed from the landlord.
Right. And we still can't stop that. They can still, but now at least they got to fork up 3 months rent to them if they want to do that. So at least the people will have something to. And something about their security deposit should also be, they should get a full security deposit back if they're being evicted for a no fault.
Right. Well, the purpose of a security deposit is if when you move out, they find damage that occurred while you were there, it helps cover the cost for repairs of that. It's not a punitive thing. But it's not supposed to punish you, or it's not free money for the landlord. There's a reason that a security deposit is given and held in a special account by the landlord. It's you almost assume as long as you haven't wrecked the place that you'll get it back.
Well, that's what kind of got me when I got kicked out on where I was living. Guy above me, 26 years there. Me, I think it was 7 or 10. And they kept my security deposit. And when I went to court, that's what the plea bargaining was. You either accept it, we're kicking you out anyway, and we're going to keep your security deposit. It's like, wait a minute. And I had a dog, so I had to pay an extra $100 for the dog. It's just like, they know they're going to get your money.
Yeah. Well, with the security deposit, they already have your money, so it's probably easy to keep it or come up with a reason to keep it. But it's supposed to be kept in an escrow account.
That's right.
Separate from anything else, protected.
Yep.
But it's a shame that with what you're paying in security deposits now, with rents as high as they are, that it's so easily thrown away, and it should have some recourse to get that back, especially if they're just keeping it without a good reason.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Tuesday, tomorrow, unless you're watching video, it's probably in tonight. Once again, 2 meetings at once.
Well, we can say when tomorrow is, Tuesday, May 7th.
It'll be
whenever you're listening to this.
Yes, Tuesday, May 7th.
Wait, did we miss May the Force be with you? You're a Star Wars guy. I figured you.
I'm a Star Trek guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a Star. I'm a Star. I enjoy Star Wars. I like Star. I'm a Star Trek guy.
May the 4th be with you. Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a couple of friends whose birthday, they're Star Wars babies because they were born on May 4th.
Yeah. See, I live for First Contact Day, so that's where we are in ours.
Yeah, we're still waiting for you to get beamed up.
Yes.
That's a big spaceship.
It is. So tomorrow
it lists to the left when they.
Once again, we have 2 meetings at the same time tomorrow because we enjoy doing that and scheduling 2 meetings at once.
Just to torture you.
Because we don't want everybody to show up at one meeting. We want people to have to get spread out a little bit. Anyhow,
pick your favorites.
So the Burbank Athletic Federation will meet tomorrow at 6:00 at the Community Services Building, and there's nothing really on their agenda worth even meeting for. So, my opinion is they should have probably just have canceled their meeting for this month. Yeah,
so everybody should go to the city council meeting.
I'm on the Dodger cam. That meeting will be like what Dodger's doing now.
Oh, he's snoring.
He's snoring, and you can sleep right through it.
Well, then to the city council meeting we go.
city council meeting they do meet at 6:00 tomorrow night.
And it's a rack, pack, lack, mac.
It's going to be, you thought the last one was long at 9 hours. This is only going to be part one. So
Yeah, but the nice part about this,
to start the meeting off, though, they're going to have a couple presentations. Ross, why don't you go through our presentations for us?
well, I looked on the agenda, and besides some other specialty this month, they are going to first off do the Matthew Pavelka Scholarship Awards. Usually the Burbank Police Foundation. I think usually 6 students apply, and they have to write essays and do all sorts of stuff. And there will be 6 recipients of the Matthew Pavelka Award. And if I recall right, I read somewhere where they increased the amount going to these scholars. And also, right after they're presented, it is also the Older Americans Month honoring 2 people in our city, Linda Barnes and Carol Collins. Now, I happen to know both quite well. Linda and I worked on Burbank on Parade. A lot of people know the name. She's a local realtor, has lived in Burbank many, many years.
Carol, you're an older American.
That's right. And Carol Collins, I saw her the other night at the Boys and Girls, and she came up to me. She said, "Ross, are you going to be there to take my picture?" She said, "What kind of award is it?" This award was named after Peter McGrath Older American Volunteer Award. And Peter was around town for many, many years, passed away just a couple ago. I think he had donated or volunteered thousands and thousands of hours. And people put their names in, and this year they're honoring Linda Barnes and Carol Collins. And I believe there was one other presentation for some organization within the city that, or one union or something. So that's the beginning of the meeting. Go on with.
Well, they'll still have their consent calendar, and they'll slide right through, and they'll have comment. People can comment, which I'm sure with the budget they're going to have a lot of comments. We'll have the city manager comments, and of course we'll have the city attorney report on closed session. So that should take about 22 seconds. After that, we talk budget. Wrote down a couple things here. The budget, I think, that we saw is 661 pages.
Wait a minute. Wait. Is that a 4-letter word? Budget? Because in some people's terms, I think it should be. Everybody hates budget time.
Now, what's the one page? Is that the title page? Is the table of contents?
Yes.
What's the one? Why'd they have to have
it's nice
661?
It's a nice color picture, actually. And there's a couple pages in there. This page left blank intentionally.
I know that. I saw that.
About 600 of those?
Yeah. So one of the things I kind of jotted down was they have recurring revenue. They estimate to be around $246 million. And that represents a 5.7 increase over the revised projections. And of that, sales tax and property tax continue to be the general fund's largest revenue source, representing 56% of the reoccurring revenue into the city.
Now, you need a flashback here for 10 seconds. Do you remember that word COVID? And council was meeting, and they thought, oh, we're going to lose, nobody's going to stay in our hotels, and we're going to lose all that bed tax. We're going to lose sales tax because they closed stores down. You couldn't shop.
Oh, yeah.
And things at night. You couldn't go to the movie theaters or bars. Burbank bounced back pretty good. If we have $246.7 million and some cities are declaring bankruptcy, I think if you wonder why you live in Burbank and how this city is,
well,
got some money put away.
I found out alone that the Empire Center alone brings in close to $3 to $4 million every year alone, just in sales tax. So we have good income sources. And in all honesty, one of our now current airport commissioners, Bud Overham, did a great job in diversifying our portfolio years and years ago. When we lost Lockheed out of Burbank, and we lost all those jobs and all the
aerospace,
the contracts, everything else. He had it in place where we had it was called before Costco. It was called what was the name of that? Before Costco, it was called it was over on Vineland and
It's Vineland and Sherman Way.
yeah, and what was it called?
What was Costco before? Dr. Sherwood, Dr. Durling.
Well, it's the Vallarta Market now, isn't it?
No,
Right.
no.
Before Costco.
Oh, it could be Vallarta. Yeah, but what was
That's
that?
what it is now, Vallarta.
What was that over there?
Yeah.
Price Club.
Price Club.
That's what I was thinking. Price Club, but I'm thinking I'm back to the East Coast,
Right.
So I didn't even mention it.
Well, so he got Price Club to come into Burbank, and that became our number one sales tax, thing. And then, of course, the Empire Center, and he diversified a lot of our portfolio to bring in a lot of tax money.
Come on. Wait, let's be honest. Bud Overham brought In-N-Out Burger to Burbank. He was the number one, and he said, if we're doing anything on anything in this city, he was a fan of In-N-Out Burger, and that's how we got an In-N-Out Burger. Bud Overham, instead of naming a park after him, they should call it Bud Overham's In-N-Out Burger.
I'm not sure that burger would appreciate
What did the
that.
city pay to get In-N-Out Burger in here?
Well, I
Yeah.
think they made some good deals because look where they are.
Well,
You
in
know-
the long run, yeah. The short run,
Oh, that
you know,
parking
you're
lot
hoping
sucks.
they stick
And in
around.
all honesty, that is a very poorly designed building and parking lot, because what happens is people go in and line up to go to the drive-through and block all the parking spaces.
There's been other
If you-
restaurants in there. Don't you remember Baja
Right.
Fresh?
And they couldn't survive.
If you've seen other In-N-Outs, kind of like the what's the chicken place on Olive,
Oh,
Right.
Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's, same kind of situation. Wherever they put these things, they screw up traffic wherever they are. And In-N-Out, every parking lot, every shopping center they put them in, they end up taking half the parking lot up because the cars they have to.
I read
The cars are lined up.
I read the In-N-Out story page by page, and it was fascinating how they started off with, the one store, I think in Alhambra or so, and what they look for. You got to be by a freeway. You got those palm trees are the same. Their exit, how they get their food, they don't have freezers at all. So that food has to be brought in, and it's just fascinating. But that Burbank In-N-Out, you can stay in that line after a Burbank Burros football game for at least an hour. Kind of like Bob's was
it's
in
gonna
the day.
kill whatever other store goes into that little shopping
And it
area.
has been killing them, yeah.
Well,
That's why it's always like a discount
Bob's.
appliance store or something like that.
Well, I think Bob's is pretty happy there because they, remodeled that store, and where the Mexican restaurant was, they've occupied that now, and I think where there was something else, that's all Bob's furniture, and their competition is right next to them. So
Yeah, well, no knocking In-N-Out. Believe me, I love me some In-N-Out, but the drive-throughs can be tough. And that are In-N-Out in Burbank. You can be In-N-Out much quicker if you find a place to park, walk in, order inside, and just walk it out. You'd still be sitting in the drive-through if you
exactly. And I have done that. I dropped off my son once, walked in to get food, and we pulled out of the line because he got it quicker than.
Well,
Yeah.
when I stop by McDonald's, I go to their little thing and use the app. Instead of waiting that damn line there, I use the app and say I'm in parking spot number 3, and I get food way. And I look at where would I have been in that line if I would have stayed in that line, and I always leave way before that person gets near the window. But nobody uses
back
that.
to the budget.
Yeah, that's
You wonder how that's a lot of In-N-Out burgers, but there's other places in town
Well,
that are making some big bucks.
Wait, what
here.
were we talking about? We were talking about a budget?
so
Oh.
this next budget, sales tax is going to get an extra 2% of the revenue, which is up to going to be about $64 million. Property tax is going to go about 7%. We'll get $74 million. Now, I think that's because we have more new properties. Plus, let's face it, when somebody dies off and they had Prop 13 taxes, that house loses that, and now their taxes go way up. So there's reasons for that. That'll continue to go up every year. Service charges are going up 12%, 12% more than last year of the budget. We're gonna dive deep into that down the line. I think some of these service charges. I was reading something on the budget and it said about service charges. It says no service charge will be made unless it directly reflects the amount the city is spending on the service. And I look at some of that and I say, what did the city do to help me put that light switch in? But they want money on a permit.
But isn't this also, when it says those charges, part of what the president just says, all these unnecessary, when you go
and that's
places?
what we're going to look into that a little bit down the line.
Okay, because some of these, you buy an AMC ticket and you're paying for the guy that's sweeping the floor. I mean, the extra charges that show up on your receipt.
Yeah, we used to rent the baseball field at Burroughs at one time. They made us actually rent and pay for it. And one of the charges was to have a custodian there the entire time. And he would never show up. He'd just be doing his work on the rest of school. And I said, no, wait a second. You want me to pay his salary and overtime? I want him to sit in the stands and be there at my baseball field. All of a sudden, we weren't paying for a janitor anymore.
But as I look on the list that was prepared, jumping down, because we don't need to go through each one of them, but the other big ding, the ones that go ding, ding, ding,
yep,
is your transit occupancy tax with all our.
And you know what they're
heads and beds, or beds and heads, or what's it called?
No, heads and pillows.
I thought it was butts and bed, or
no, that's butts and seats for the schools.
Oh, okay,
one of the reasons that it's going to go up a lot is now the addition of the Cambria Hotel.
And all the other hotels that were.
Yeah, well, they're not open, but right now Cambria will be putting sales tax in. So, and of course
when we talk about these places being built, a lot of people go, "Oh, the traffic and this and that."
And let people know, what? We're going to make $13 million in that bed tax from people staying in Burbank, just like the parking tax. If you park at the airport, we get a piece of that. We're getting $4.4 million off that.
And if you think about it, if you live in Burbank, I don't know who lives in, I do know a lot of people live in Burbank, but they get dropped off because it's so convenient. The airport is so convenient. But these people that are in Sun Valley and come in to use the Burbank airport, that's who we're dinging for that tax.
You know what else the city figured out?
Uh-oh.
That this new parking service makes them more money. So they're asking to increase the amount of officers, increase the amount of time and all that for this new parking company.
Oh, the parking enforcement.
Because...
And Mr. Durling, what is their name? Come on, you know it. I'll give you a clue.
Laz?
You're good.
Very good.
Laz?
Well,
it's going up 8.3%, parking, traffic, and other fines.
Yep. So they figured, you know what? We get more people in. They're going to be like L.A. They're going to have people, one cop at every parking meter. As soon as you...
Well, one Laz parking enforcement person. They're not cops. So.
But if you recall, they're also, with the Laz, they're bringing on more people because they're finding it was a trial thing for the last year. Worked out so well, we can go cha-ching.
Yep.
And they're going to go cha-ching, ching-ching and bringing in, quite a bit more revenue for the city. So... watch where you park.
I wonder if how many calls they get, how many complaints they're fielding, and if they need more bodies.
Well, you know what?
To field the complaints.
There's another good idea for a story down the line. You know what? Being a news outlet, we need to find these things out. This currently we are working on a huge story. Huge story that's coming out this week about crime at the Empire Center. So hold on to your hats.
Hold on to your wallets.
Yes, hold on to your wallets. When you see the stats that I received for the amount of crime, and by the way, between 75 and 80% of all crime in Burbank is committed by people who don't live in Burbank.
Shocker.
Okay, now that was just a tease. Back to the budget.
Yes.
One thing we want to make clear. You like my cup? What do you mean?
Keeping us on track, Mr. Benson.
Which I very unusually do.
I don't have my rat hole pen with me, so I can't call everybody out.
But I will say, if you're going to listen to the budget, they break it into a couple of weeks. They do each department. We're just jumping around on the highlights of the budget.
But all this information's available online.
All 661 pages of it.
That's right. And
As you said, each department will come in and they basically do a PowerPoint presentation of their highlights of the year and what they were asking for and why they're asking for it. And, it's pretty much, by the end of the night, that rubber stamp gets pretty much used up.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if our council members have done their homework. I know some of them have, some of them do, and they'll question, well, do you really need this? Do you need that? Yes, we have some money, but can we wait for another year?
I think they're actually predicting a deficit down the line.
Yeah, a couple of years down, but not now. Nick was here and we're in good shape.
Right.
But I think one of the departments that we kind of look closer at is the Burbank Fire Department. This is the first year that we have seen some additional items in the budget that I know Craig Sherwood is like, wow, finally. You think about the number of calls in the city, we listen to it 24 hours a day. There are times when Burbank paramedics are so busy that they're rolling paramedics
from Glendale,
ALS, Advanced Life Support,
occasionally from Pasadena,
to transport somebody. And some of that I know is downtime when they're sitting at a hospital. So Burbank has asked for an additional apparatus. They're also now
an additional paramedic unit, not an apparatus could be anything.
Well, no, an ambulance.
Right,
It's funded for another ambulance.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And then they've also budgeted for a fireman and a paramedic to man that certain hours of the day, kind of like right now, like Glendale's doing.
Right.
But also, Burbank's turning into a big city, folks. A lot of you laugh. Yeah, we are over
101,000.
1,000. And they call the paramedics and fire department a lot. So they are going to fund supervisors because when you have personnel, you have to have chiefs that they answer to and chiefs that do different things. The fire department is ramping up.
Well, it needs to expand because look at the development going in the city. When you talk about that new project in Fry's, we talk about the thing at Pass and Riverside. We talk about the Warner Brothers Ranch. We talk about what could happen in Kia. The city's going to expand in a lot of ways, both commercially and residentially. And we do need enough paramedics to go around. We do need enough fire apparatus.
In reality, this is why so many cities went back to having their own medical apparatus and paramedics and EMTs because it's where the money's at. It's where all these fire departments and cities are getting their revenue from. They don't have fires to put out as often as they used to. But medical is where it's at. If you remember, these cities used to have contract ambulance companies and farm it out to them. Then they realized, wait a minute. Well, there's money to be made here.
Well, Greg, if you look at
the city,
if you dig down, which I did the other night, if people wonder what I do at 3 a.m, I read the budget almost page by page. Like medicines that they push, yes, when they go to the hospital, if they've given you meds, they get them replaced. But the stuff that doesn't get replaced is the gauze, the bandages, the splints, the other things. Plus, it was pretty neat to know, and we were going to do a story on it, the Lucas device. That is a device. Now, thank God, most people probably don't know what it is. It does CPR in place of a fireman when they're driving to the hospital.
Or it does compressions.
Compressions.
Because in the old days, they'd have to have a fireman off a rig doing CPR.
And now
a paramedic worked on the person, and they'd take a fire engine out of service until the fireman would return after the call. So this way, that engine stays in service.
And now they want to put them on every engine. So if they start CPR at a house, that device can go to the hospital and get back. And just some of the things that the fire department is really ramping up on.
And in all honesty, these fees, I think it's like $1,500. If they transport you to the hospital, that's about a $1,500 bill at least. So these fees are going to pretty much pay for a fourth paramedic unit in the long run. So I mean, it's not just an expense. I think it's something it's like parking enforcement. The more you have, the more you make.
Yep. So tomorrow night will be a long meeting. It probably won't go till 2 or 3 because they have a curfew. And they know they'll be back the following week. But like Craig said, all the departments will have their traffic officers, and
Right.
I don't know if PD is the first.
This is where they all pitch their case for next
Yep.
year's budget.
Yeah. They've submitted their proposals, and now they're going to explain what, or be there to answer questions of, well, why do you need this?
Yep. So it's for some very interesting meeting, and you wonder why we are, in good shape here in the city. Our
Well,
budget.
I would think that 98% of the people don't give a damn about meetings like this because of numbers and everything else. But this is what's so important. This thing that we have to watch and we have to monitor, and because this is how the sausage works.
Exactly. I was going to say, this is a lot of people don't care how the sausage is made. They just like the end result. But this is the process everybody has to go through to make that happen for you.
It's extremely important. Anyhow, as we move on here,
Is it Wednesday yet?
it's just about is. The show takes so long some days. The Board of Library Trustees is going to meet at 5:30 on Wednesday at the Central Library. And they're going to get updates, a library services update, and a Friends of the Library update. I guess no updates from the enemies of the library. Just the Friends of the
There
Library.
was a friend of the library, somebody that makes a donation, or
I
what is that?
imagine it probably is.
Friends of the Library run their, they have little stores at 3 of the libraries, I think. At least I know the Main and Buena Vista. They collect old books, and they every year have a book sale. Well, the city employees don't do that. It's the Friends of the Library that runs those events. Kind of like Friends at the Animal Shelter.
That's good to have friends.
So it's like a volunteer corps
Right,
yeah.
within the library system.
right.
Okay. Very good.
And then you can go a half hour of the library meeting and then run over to McCambridge Park. And they're having a meeting for the city park's master plan. And that's from 6 to 8 p.m. at McCambridge Park. And
Well, I wanted to really, but Wednesday's so busy. That was the one they had one at Verdugo. Good turnout. But you want to talk about why we should have another Verdugo Aquatic Center, up at McCambridge? This is where you come give your 2 cents. They've made it convenient. One at Verdugo Park. This one's up at McCambridge. Probably have some food and snacks there. But it's a important meeting, community meeting room 3 from 6 to 8 at McCambridge Park.
okay. Well, moving on. We are moving on, aren't we?
Then the that just says the group that's running the what do you call them? A consultant that.
Yeah, they have a consultant. Always have a consultant.
That's right.
Where the money's at.
Well, you know what we're going to do? I think we are going to take ourselves another break. And we will be back with you right after this.
How would you like your business advertised in this
Yeah, I've
very
lost
spot? myBurbank Talks is looking for local businesses interested in a 30-second spot to appear in our podcasts. If you're interested, please email advertising@myburbank.com, and we'll be glad to discuss all the exciting possibilities with you. Now, back to our podcast.
Hi, everybody. We're back again.
No offense. You know what? Dodger. We got to go to the Dodger cam.
You got to go to Dodger
He
Camp?
is looking right at the
Yep.
camera. Oh, there he goes.
Now he's looking at me. He's got the big yawn, though.
Oh, we're boring you,
Oh.
Dodger. We'll
See,
go
you
back.
said his name. If you didn't say his name, he would have kept on
Yeah,
being
that's
on.
true. Well, so Thursday, May 9th, that's coming up later this week, as they say. I think he's looking right at the camera now, so I should put a treat on the camera next. No, he'd probably eat the camera then.
I thought we were back.
All right, we are back. We're not front. Anyhow, so Burbank Cultural Arts Commission is going to meet at 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
God.
on Thursday morning.
I guess that's a commission that
That's
I
not
will
a typo?
never-
No, that's 9 a.m.
I will
Wow.
never apply for that board.
And they are going to talk about the Elephant Parade Economic Development. Elephant Parade. Economic Development staff will provide an update on a traveling art exhibit of painted and decorated elephant statues known as the Elephant Parade.
Now, I want to talk about this one.
Okay, the art.
No, there's no shovel for you to walk behind with.
The art exhibit is funded by the Tourism Business Improvement District, also known as Visit Burbank, and will be coming to Burbank this summer. Go ahead, Ross.
Well, I found out today, I spoke to somebody within the city of in the chamber. This is going to be a big deal in Burbank. If you notice, the king and queen, this started in royalty. There's elephants on display. This is a big thing going worldwide. And Burbank is going to jump on it in the beginning. And Burbank is a big tourism place.
And where is this going to be?
All over Burbank.
Oh, boy.
You're
Is
gonna
this
see-
like an outside art exhibit thing?
I don't know.
What
if
is
you-
this?
I don't know if you could put elephants inside, but
Do they put like big elephant?
Well, they're not real elephants,
No,
right?
but
No.
they put elephant statues like on different corners or something, or
all this conversation is just starting. And tomorrow I know there's this big meeting, and I was told today that it's going to be an economic. Our economic department is thinking of things to bring people to Burbank, and we're getting on the ground floor of this elephant parade.
there's gonna be a stampede.
Hey, we've had circus animals. I have a picture of you next to a llama, I think. I don't have you next
I
to
have
an
elephant pictures if they need any.
Oh, see? Look at that. So, you know what? You're hearing it here first. When you hear about this elephant parade,
I'm looking forward to it.
You're hearing
I'm
it
looking forward to
first.
seeing what it's all about.
Like to know where they're gonna. I'm sure they have a list of where they're gonna put them all throughout the city.
Oh, definitely.
So
It's gonna be like a hunt. You have to find them. Find the elephant.
So later on Thursday, the Burbank Water and Power is going to have a special meeting, and they're going to recommend to the city council about the commercial electric charging station program, and they've got two options to look at. One being the how much they're going to charge on rebates, and that'll be an interesting. I to this day I still think that they put the cart before the horse on these electric vehicles, because I think you're going to have
I totally agree.
charging stations will be a very lucrative business if you can get on it down the line and you can get parking spaces and put chargers in, because people will have no access to chargers when everybody's had an electric car, and they'll be begging for charge. It'll be like the gas shortage back in the 80s or something, when you can only go to gas stations on your license plate in and on certain on
exactly.
even or odd numbers, and then there'd be lines
Rick
because
Durling, are you old enough to remember that?
Wasn't that a Jimmy Carter thing? Wasn't that through during his tenure?
well, I don't know who the president was. I just know that
The
they're-
lines out the gas
Yeah,
stations.
exactly.
And you're right.
I remember
Your
Hollywood
license
Way.
plate ended at a certain number.
Yep.
You could go get a gallon of gas.
And I was so lucky that I had a gas station. It was the old Texaco over on Pass and Alameda, and I went there for all my car repairs, everything else. So the owner just said, "Look, you drive your car over here, you park it over here, leave me the keys. In the morning, whenever you need gas, I'll just fill it up for you, and then you can just pay me later." Boy, I'll tell you what, that saved me a lot of time and effort and energy. So,
Wait, did I find Mr. Durling
I got my rat hole pen.
rat hole pen?
Yep. Well, that's okay, but that's a true story. Then that's what's going to happen with electric chargers. You're not going to have enough chargers to go around when everybody has to have an electric car. There just won't be enough. There won't be enough in these 7-story apartment buildings with 140 units and 7 parking places.
There's like 4 of them right outside the door in the underground parking at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Right.
Like right when you walk in from the parking lot, there's like 4 of them right there by the door,
Right.
and they're usually empty.
Well, what happens when everybody there has to have an electric car, though? And there's more than
Yeah,
4
then there
units.
won't be enough.
Yeah.
No.
I you know what though? I won't be around when that happens. So I don't care. I don't care. Why do I care? Park and Recreation Board is going to meet at 6:00, and I'm just going to get the department operations updates. Really, nothing going on special with them.
I went off to the Dodger cam while you were giving that update.
Oh.
And he's about as boring as that Parks and
Well,
Rec
yes.
departmental update.
Well,
Come on, let's up the energy, people. We got to make. We're on the home stretch here.
Yes,
Home
we are.
stretch.
Last page, I see.
let's see here.
Go for a big finish.
Craig's trying to figure out where page 6 is.
Okay, so I didn't, because we were in a hurry when I did this, and I didn't put the dates along with the days.
If anybody's keeping score, we have not gotten to the word of the week yet.
Yeah.
So if you're still awake, stick
It's
around.
coming though. But on Friday,
Wait. Craig Durling, did you just, I'm not stuttering. Did you hear what Mr. Sherwood just said? He didn't put the dates on the sheet.
no. I didn't. The days aren't above on the right sheet. When I printed it out, Friday is on one page and the event is on another page. That's the problem.
Gee, I wonder who prints them out. I wonder who prints these things out.
Well, sometimes when you can't be
Just,
rushed.
you're burying yourself, Craig.
No,
Keep going. What's happening on
next week? I'm going to take my
Friday?
time and do it the way I want to do it then.
But we got a busy weekend this weekend.
Oh,
Well,
the 11th and 12th.
Are we going to talk about Friday first, or are we just going to pass over?
No, we could talk about Friday. I spun right past
Oh,
that. You
you're
know
right.
why? Because the dates overlap and they're not on the right page.
Now Ross is trying to figure it out. Oh,
now I see it's at the bottom of the page. I see.
Oh, so now he's trying to figure it out.
Weren't we talking about people not wanting to see how the sausage is made?
Yes. So on Friday,
Is what happens.
Home Again LA has their 10th annual gala, Boots and Brews barbecue. Not in
Ooh, that
Burbank,
sounds
but
fun.
at the Autry Museum. So,
Well, but do you recall where they wanted to put that museum?
yeah, they wanted to put it in Burbank, and we wouldn't let them.
They wouldn't allow the Gene Autry Museum to be in Burbank?
They wanted to put Disneyland in Burbank, and we wouldn't let them.
Gene Autry
They wanted to
came,
put UCLA in Burbank, and we wouldn't let them.
Gene Autry came to the city and said, I will give you any money you want that I can put my museum at Johnny Carson Park
Yeah.
on the south side of the freeway.
Yep.
And the city said no.
No, we want to have that statue there instead.
No, that came many years later. But the city said no, kind of like the vision they had when UCLA wanted to come here, when Disneyland wanted to come here. They said that is not big enough of space. And now you look at the Gene Autry Museum, and maybe the city fathers did have good sight back many, many years ago.
Well,
But it's pretty damn close.
the reason we get Disneyland here is they said they didn't want a carnival atmosphere in Burbank.
But anyway, Boots and Brews barbecue at the Gene Autry Museum
So
on the 10th.
grab your
Friday the
boots,
10th.
have a brew, enjoy some barbecue.
Boots
And again, that is, it's gala season. That is Home LA's 10th annual gala. And at the witness of last week's Boys and Girls, I guarantee Home LA will be another sellout. And
But
Home LA,
I will say this, though. If you have an organization, why not plan your gala a different time of the year? Because right now, how much money goes around in all these galas? And I think people are starting to run low on funding, where maybe if they would later in the year, they'd have kind of a more of a everything to themselves type situation.
actually, if you think about it, it's right after tax season. All these multimillionaires that come to these galas,
Well, just the
it's
last
a good
the last
time
two
for
are.
them to
The-
write
the-
checks.
The last 3 or 4 before that were before taxes. So I don't know. What do I know? I just sit here and criticize everybody. I'm good at that. Well, let's move on to Saturday, because Saturday is a big event. Not only is it doing nice weather. I checked today. We have some nice weather. Thank goodness. No rain, but no heat. So it should be a nice day. But we're having Fire and Police Service Day from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the main thing will be at the Police and Fire headquarters at 3rd and Orange Grove. And
In fact, didn't they just pave that orange
they
grove?
just paved it. So
It'll be gorgeous out there next
hopefully,
week.
yeah, hopefully the sun's not too hot and your shoes don't melt into the pavement. So, but also the myBurbank crew will be there doing a podcast. So we have a special podcast there. So we couldn't make the care walk because of some unforeseen difficulties, but we will be at Police and Fire Service Day. So please stop by, say hey. I can say hi too.
And we should be on the apparatus floor inside.
Yes,
So come by
inside.
and say hello with after you pick up your pancakes.
No pancakes.
No pancakes?
No, that's a YMCA thing they canceled. From
I'm
a
out.
couple yep, you're out. But I will say, sidewalk CPR. You can take a demo of firemen climbing the aerial ladder, tours of the fire station, people always
And
ask.
the tours of the fire station are very it's
Firemen
Yeah.
live there 24 hours a day,
It
48
is a
hours.
nice station too.
And they're going to redo the kitchen up at Station 11, so you get to see the old, and then next year the new. But everybody asks every year, who pays for your food? The residents of Burbank do not pay for firemen's food
nope.
and so forth. And you see where
Well, and
all the guys
indirectly
being
they
cooked.
do because they pay them a salary.
Well, they all
and then
all
they use
pay
the
into
salary.
their own
No,
account.
but-
and-
But
Yeah, they all-
honestly, they collect from
Right.
each fireman every day. And I know every year people ask that, where they do their laundry. They'll show you where they have special washing machines for the fireman's gear. But I will tell you two things. Bring money because there's stuff usually for sale there. The Burbank Firefighters Local 778, I've already confirmed. They will have cookers going all night long
Oh,
making pulled pork, brisket. Last year they sold out. They brought more than they've ever brought, but they're going to be cooking that stuff overnight behind the station.
the one thing I do miss is back years ago, they used to let you go down the fire pole, but boy, nowadays, nope. Nobody goes down.
They even
that
let the
fire pole.
firefighters go down the fire pole anymore.
Yeah,
A lot of stations have removed them because of
Well, there's still one.
safety and injuries.
They're still on Station 11. Ross, they still use that one.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
It's you gotta actually hold on to that thing pretty tightly as you go down because you're going. There's no brakes on
Well,
that thing.
No, but there's
A lot
two
of
ways
newer
of-
stations aren't being built with them.
Right.
Just stairs now,
Yeah.
just
Guys
because
with
of
leg
the
injury.
Yeah,
risk.
because you got to learn how to wrap your leg around it and everything else. And then
Yeah.
I remember being taught how to do that one time, and I did it once, and I
One and
enjoyed
done.
it. But one and done, exactly.
I
But
know.
the demos are kind of one of the better attractions at Fire Service Day, whether it's the rappelling demos or the canine demos. Ross,
What are
in your
demos
opinion,
on there, Ross?
what's one of the best demos that people like
Well,
gathering around and
People
watching?
love to see the jaws of life.
Oh, wait a
Jaws.
second. What?
Wow.
The jaws of life.
Wait. What does this mean?
The word of
That's
the
the
week.
word
the word of the
of the week.
Jaws, and we're not talking about the guy
Jaws.
from the James Bond movie. We're talking about the actual Jaws of life.
But for the purpose of the contest, all you have to put in is Jaws. Doesn't matter what
Just
it's
Jaws.
from.
Yes, that's true.
But put that in the subject line of an email to contest@myburbank.com, and we'll put you in the running for the $25 gift card to Hill Street Cafe, which nobody submitted for last week. Shame.
Absolutely. That's a crime against humanity.
Okay.
Somebody's
okay.
missing out on a great mushroom omelet, apparently,
As one of the
based on that photo.
I don't know whatever I am with myburbank.com, but you know what? If you come to Fire Service Day, and we'll have a little card there or something in a basket or a pickle jar, and if your name gets pulled out of it, by the end of the day, we'll have a fire chief pull the name out. You will get a $25 gift certificate to Tequila's.
Well, how are they
That's from me.
how are they going to get their?
I'll have it if they stick around, or they'll put the number on it.
Do they have to be
figure it out.
there in person?
Are they have a card
To
that
win?
they fill out and you put in
Yeah.
there? Oh, okay.
We'll do
Or a
something.
business card or
We'll do something. We're
Okay.
going to
We
do
get
some
that.
contest.
Ross is going to have ourselves a little contest there and stop by our table, say hi, drop in your name, and
Well, you're
somebody.
going to stop by, find our table, stop by our table for the chance to win that gift card. Just like if you put in for the word of the week, Jaws.
So besides Jaws, I love that sound. If you recall the first week,
Yeah,
I
you
came
wanted
up
that
with
as your theme thing, but
and I don't know
But
Kelly.
it's also helpful at this point in the show because it'll wake everybody up.
yes.
Well, Kelly Clarkson can do it in her mouth, and I don't know
Who?
how. Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, there you go.
So, but it's police and fire service. They outside. They don't let the policemen inside the firehouse, but out on
stop.
the back apparatus floor, the motors are going to be doing demos. K9 will be there. The SWAT truck, the Bearcat. You can climb in the Bearcat and look out the what's it called, the turret.
Sure.
And-
And there may or may not be a helicopter parked in the intersection of Orange Grove and
No,
Third.
they're going to park it back in the parking lot. I'm told this year.
Oh, they are. It's not too heavy.
Yep, nope, not too heavy. And this is going to be you can ask them about the new helicopter that they're getting. The command staff will be out there with the command post, the animal shelter, the cadets, the reserves.
Everybody. It's all hands on
It
deck
is.
for these things.
It
Everybody's
is.
there.
They really like to show off. Folks, this is your city at work, your emergency services. Craig Durling and Craig Sherwood, we've done it for many years. I mean, Craig's going to have some pictures on display, some amazing, amazing fire shots that he has shot.
And you as well, right?
Yeah, I will. We're going to have a display going of some myBurbank covers and some action shots. I even have located some really old pictures of Burbank Fire Department and firemen that have long retired. But
Nostalgia.
yeah, so should be a great day. Saturday, May 11th from 9 to 2, Burbank Fire Headquarters. Now, I'm going to give you a secret. I'm cluing you off, folks. You want somewhere to park? You can park across the street in the...
Since the camera's on me, I might as well wave while he's
no,
talking.
it isn't. It's on me. I don't know why the highlight's on, but it's on me.
Oh,
So
my red
at
light
least
was on.
It says,
ah,
in the old, there's a parking lot across the street that is open to the public. There's a city parking lot down the street. Don't forget farmers market is going on, so sometimes parking. But read street signs. We do have laws out now. If you park on Olive, they have put you cannot during the farmers market because too many people were jaywalking and almost got hit. So there's now no parking on Olive. Watch where you park.
isn't jaywalking
And
no
usually fire service day,
No.
there are road closures
There's
around
lights
the
on
fire
both
and
ends.
police station
Oh.
from usually Orange Grove, from Glen Oaks to 3rd. And
Right. Well, they got to bring
So-
out the crash rig.
Yeah.
The crash rig will
well, and
be
they
there.
have displays out in the streets and people
Yeah.
walking around. So they close down the streets right around the station. So you can expect to have to park off site a little bit and maybe walk half a block or a block in there.
So now here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
It's a great day, but don't use all your energy there, because that's from 9 to 2, and going on from 11 to 4 in another part of the city
Oh, yeah.
is Celebrate Burbank's celebration, and they're at from 11 to 4 at the corner of Empire and Buena Vista. They had it there last year also,
Great location.
and yeah, absolutely. You know,
Tons of parking.
they couldn't have it in a city spot because of the fees are being charged, and their private has helped them out. I just really hope people will go and see both things, because
Yeah.
it's a whole different, it's a whole different thing. Save your energy up, visit both locations.
Well, if you notice what's
Here's
nice is-
here's my recommendation. Sorry, Ross.
Go ahead.
Here's my recommendation. Go to the fires and police service day in the morning. Get your fill of that, and then go to the Celebrate Burbank, because that event goes later anyway,
Yes.
but you'll still have energy.
I was just going to say that, Greg. You could 9:00 fires, and a lot of people are at fire service day at 9:01. You know.
Fire service day breaks down earlier than it's usually starts on time, but it'll start breaking down probably 1:30 or so. So
Yep. So
don't plan on going to that later in the time slot. You might miss some stuff.
So you can get over to Elevate Burbank, corner of Empire and Buena Vista.
Celebrate Burbank.
Celebrate Burbank. I'm sorry, but it's put on by Elevate Burbank.
Yes.
And good old Linda Besson and her crew. Know Linda quite well. She's put a lot of energy. They got some great entertainment. They got food trucks.
I hope next year they pick a different day.
Well, I think the calendar is going to be hopefully a little
We
strict.
talked about that before. Yeah.
Well, this weekend is like, what else goes on this weekend? Oh,
Well, it's a big weekend anyway for a lot of folks.
What else on Saturday?
Nothing else on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But I will say, none of us in this room, we've all lost our mothers. But we've all had mothers.
Mother, where are you? Oh, I've lost
And
my mother.
it's Sunday is a big, big day. I remember for years.
Mother's Day, the 12th.
That's right. And I remember for years, fire departments started doing fire service day second week of May. I can't say before mothers started, but, and it's always been a family problem that people go, well, we got fire service day, can't do Mother's Day. It's a big thing. If your mother's still alive, I can literally say there's many times I'd like to get on the phone, call my mom and ask her something about a recipe or something that I did. or I cut my my finger or something. I know Craig Durling's the same way. He lost his mom a couple years ago, and and Craig Sherwood. We have all lost our mothers. But if your mom's still alive, take the time Sunday, take her to lunch, stop by Saturday, get some flowers at the farmer's market. What else can I say, guys?
Well,
I still celebrate Mother's Day every year.
Well,
I talk to my mom all the time.
I lost my mother, so if anybody finds her, let me know. That's joke for you, Mom. There we go. She's looking down from some forest lawn.
I was just going to say, Donna, I guarantee she's still...
And she doesn't understand the joke anyway.
The restaurants are going to be busy on Sunday. If you don't have reservations, eat at home.
Well, I think that it kind of actually rolls us into the one and the only, the final thing.
Boy, I'm so excited.
And it would only be for one thing, and that would be...
Ross's rant! Ross's rant! Ross's rant!
I'd take a flamethrower to this place!
Me? What's up, Doc?
Well, it's funny. I'm looking at camera 4, and my tally light's not on. But on my monitor, it says that the camera's on me. So we're hoping something.
Aren't you controlling the cameras?
Yes, I am.
So you should know what camera's on.
But I noticed my tally light's not on.
Well, my red light's on pointing at me, so I don't know.
Okay, well, that's weird. Ross's rant. I wrote down a couple things. First of all, we just said it, Mother's Day. They're important. Let's remember them this week, this month. There's just so much going on. Graduations. Next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about graduations. Some campuses, we're not where there's a USC or UCLA here, thank goodness. But, there's high school graduations. There's advancement for kids that have, a couple years ago, because of COVID, didn't get to celebrate. So graduations, there's galas going on for the next couple of weeks. There's so much more. Our city gives you a ton of stuff to do. And if you have to go outside of the city, I'm kind of surprised. You can stay here, spend your money here, celebrate here. And May is just that time. Oh, and I guess I have a birthday coming up in a week and a half, and Mr. Sherwood has one following me.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You don't, but, well.
No, I don't.
Your mother told me you did, but.
Ross loves to put his personal stuff on the air. I don't.
Well, in the month of May, we both have birthdays, so lots going on.
It is indeed a busy month.
Yep. So, and we this week's show we've covered a ton.
That wasn't really a rant, though. That was not
much of a rant.
Just an observation, actually. Or that was very tame for you.
I'm going to Dodger. I'm getting
after the week you've had.
Yeah.
You hear that, Dodge? Not much going on.
I went back to Dodger, so. Yeah, it's we'll have to figure out the tally lights on cameras, and whoever gets to edit this, boy, do I feel sorry for him.
Well, from what I can. Oh, my red light just went off.
And that's when I put your camera on.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are still with us and those who have passed. You'll always be with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's it.
I agree. It's wow, what a show, boys.
We're ready to start. Roll the opening credits.
Here we go.
Well, I think Craig Sherwood is ready to push that button and take us to
the big red one.
Actually, it's the big blue one.
The big blue one, and we're taking it to the end zone, or
who's closing for another week.
That's it for the week that was. The week that will be our May 6th edition. Craig Sherwood, along with Ross Benson, and of course Craig Durling, saying we will see you next week.
myBurbank Talks would like to thank all of myBurbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Game Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street.